All good. Can you elaborate on why you think voting is important?
Voting is a very important part of our democracy. Our democracy requires that the mandate of those that we elect must be renewed every 5 years. And voting is central to that aspect. And we, from where I sit at the Electoral Commission, we would want to create as many opportunities as possible, particularly for young persons in this country who are, at least as we speak, a majority of those that need to be given the opportunity to register and to vote.
And why would you say that young people should turn out next year to vote?
It's important for 2 reasons, and probably more. But next year, it's 20 years of our democracy. We are a very young democracy. And, you know, the democracy gets stronger when everyone that has that franchise exercises that franchise. But secondly, it is very important for good citizenship. South African citizens, we must never take it for granted that, you know, it's yet another way of promoting and upholding our democracy, that we participate in it and that we keep it alive.
And what will happen if young people don't vote in general?
The danger is, if you don't vote, somebody's going to vote. And the truth of the matter is, they will not vote necessarily in the way that you would have voted, and their vote will bind you, nevertheless. And therefore, you know, in a democracy, every vote counts. Every one of the ideas that are on the table, represented by political parties that are contesting that election, are expressed by ordinary men and women like you and I, the people that we are calling upon to register and to vote, who will then, you know, exercise that right and say, given the choices that we have on the table, this is the choice I would want for my South Africa. This is a beautiful country. Everyone needs to have a say in it.
And do you think that young South Africans can look forward to a free and fair election in 2014?
I can assure you that my colleagues at the Commission are working really hard to ensure that the upcoming elections are not only free and fair, but that they're also memorable. We have put in place quite a number of measures that you know, seek to ensure that our democracy is vibrant, that the electoral processes are transparent, that you know, every vote that has been cast, every one of those that have cast that vote have the confidence that it does matter and it is taken into consideration in the work that we do. From the beginning to the end of this election, every voter would have the opportunity to see exactly how you know, their votes would be translated into a seat in Parliament, and how that vote you know, was dealt with throughout the process, from observing the electoral process in the voting station, to how the results are captured, to how they are beamed on a results screen, but even importantly, for you sitting at home or way afterwards, saying, I belong to this voting station, this is where I have voted, I want to see what the result of my voting station would be. There will be a facility for you to pull out the result slip of that voting station and to actually compare that with the actual results that we have captured. So complete trust, complete transparency, and yeah, something that we want to engender the confidence of the South African electorate. But it is also important to you know, to take away the myth that says, you know, registration is very difficult, and you know, I'll be in a queue for half a day and so on and so forth. Let me just point out, registration is pretty simple. You walk into a voting station or registration station, as we call it for that purpose, with your identity document. Now you can even use your smart card ID document or your temporary identification certificate. You present it to the person working there. In 2-3 minutes, fill in a simple form that gives us the permission to register, for your application as a to register as a voter. And that's what we take into consideration. You should be out of there in no more than 5 minutes. On average, we find that people leave that registration center in less than 5 minutes. So it's a very simple process.
Do you want to give us a general statement that might encourage young South Africans to think differently about the IEC and about the upcoming election, and something that might encourage them to participate?
I want to think of it as young people being the future of this country. You are in the majority, and it is actually your vote that matters the most at the moment. You have a future ahead of you. All of us at the Electoral Commission actually serve you. And I would be very disappointed if you didn't come, if you did not take advantage of this. There are many countries in the world where people want to exercise this right and they don't have it. And I think it's important to use it. We have it. We have a beautiful country. Let's make our choices, and let's take our democracy forward. Vote in these upcoming elections.
Fantastic. I think that's it for the substantive questions.
Yeah.
And then should we do the lecture quickly? So, just very briefly, all of the interviews have the same, just it's our vote, it's our voice. Democracy starts with an X.
Yeah.
And then in general, we've asked all the political leaders and participants to give us an X. So Orlando Pirates or X. So any statement. So Prince Buthelezi did a big X. General Holomisa did a small X. It's your choice. So we can also do that in if we want to do it in Sotho, Afrikaans, English, other language would be fantastic.
Okay. Would it be better if I held that up here?
Is it in the frame?
I don't know if. Okay, let's see.
How's that?
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. Let's go, Andrew. You want me to say it's our vote?
So I think if you the way that the other ones have gone is that the participant has generally said that we welcome this initiative taken by InkuluFreeHeid, and we would say to all South Africans that it's our vote, it's our voice. So kind of integrated like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when you're ready, I think just into the camera. Okay.
South Africans, elections are about choices we make. It's our vote, it's our voice. Democracy starts with an X. Each person to say their own version. Freedom starts with an X. Better education starts with an X. And democracy is continue to be upheld with an X. Go and participate in these elections. Register and then vote. Is that all right?
That's perfect. Very good. That's very cool. Yeah. And that's really fantastic. We really appreciate that.
No, it's a pleasure.
And then very briefly, in terms of the volunteer discussion, so there's about 1,000 people, young people, that have in some other capacity indicated they want to form part of the campaign.
Okay.
And we would love to contribute them to help the IEC court on the